Well, and welcome. I want to kick off by asking you about the UAE economy at this point, because there are a lot of fears that we're coming up on yet another bubble. Walk me through what you see as some of the headwinds that are facing the UAE at this point.
Well, there is definitely headwinds that are coming up. I think 2018 was a tough year. 2019, we're hoping that it's going to get a bit better, but there are still headwinds ahead of us. I think some encouraging signs are coming out. I think consumer confidence is up. But the sentiment is still not there. People are much more price conscious than before. You have the shift to digital that's actually in the region is actually now taking on, and I would say surpassing global benchmarks. On the FDI side, yesterday Dubai just announced very encouraging FDI numbers to 38.4 billion dirhams, about 41% increase. So there are some good signs, but generally speaking, I think we still need to see how the year is going to unfold. And I'm not sure it's going to be actually, I would say, a leapfrog compared to what we've seen in 2018. But we're building up to 2020. I think Expo will have some good results there.
Well, walk me through what you think the initial impact of this Uber Careem deal will really be for the region, because there's a lot of conversation that this is really going to move the dial forward in terms of tech investment, in terms of the startup scene, particularly in Saudi Arabia, for example. How quickly are we going to get there?
Well, we've seen last year the Amazon Souk acquisition. We've seen Uber Careem this year. So the region is becoming much more relevant, being globally relevant in terms of acquisition. And I think global giants, I would say, global tech companies are interested more and more to enter the region through acquisition. So that's a plus. It's good for valuations. It's good for interest. It's good for people being able to actually raise funds going forward. This being said, I personally believe there is still a big discount to the region that you have to deal with.
And in terms of the geopolitics, obviously here at the World Economic Forum, we were having many conversations about what's been happening in the region, what's been happening more globally, how that's impacting energy prices as well. When you take a step back and think about some of the headwinds that the region is facing, whether it be the potential re-election of Benjamin Netanyahu just a few miles away, or frankly, this Iran versus Saudi Arabia narrative. What are some of the things that concern you? Because I know as a businessman, you are always looking to make the best bet on investment, but some of these things obviously impact your decision making.
Absolutely. I think 2019 is much more volatile than before. Trade wars, Brexit, that's not exiting, that's not happening. The issue of the oil prices with all what's happening around us, there's never been so much volatility actually in the at site. So I think these are all things that are delaying decisions. Much more decisions are being delayed. This is why I think 2019 is going to be a year that's going to be neither here nor there.
And in terms of what happens next, in terms of the business case scenario, we've seen over the last several months the Saudi Arabia and the UAE, for example, really opening up a dialogue in terms of cross-border trade, in terms of making it much easier and more fluid to do business between these two countries. There's a big conversation about how that could be exported more broadly through the region, a rather European-esque style there in terms of bringing all of these countries closer together. This is something that has been discussed over the years, but hasn't been able to come to fruition. But you're working on an effort that's private sector driven.
Absolutely. I think what's happening in Saudi Arabia and the UAE is very encouraging, very encouraging. Will it actually expand? I hope so. The region needs to come together economically. If you look at the contribution to the region, you're talking about a population of about 600 million people. If you took Pakistan to Morocco, and our total GDP is about 3 trillion. Global GDP is 88. If you look from as a bloc, okay, we are, I would say, less than 20% of Europe GDP, 17.5 trillion. And compared to the US, we are 15%. So in reality, although we may have doubled the population, we are actually a fraction of the contribution to global GDP. And so far, as you said, nothing has been done that has been effective. I believe that the private sector in the region should step up and put forward an economic vision for the region that's going to be away from conflicts, politics, and position, and come and say, what is actually the size of the prize? How much can we push our GDP forward? And that could be significant if we just deregulate, open up, and allow free movement of people, goods and services, as well as data.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.